Zach Life, beat depression and stay 846, and we're back with another fix of somatic healing sessions to wipe out depression. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here now. Anyone who's tuning in later, as you know, it's a martial arts for mental health show, and we like to focus in on those mental health tools first. By putting mental health first, that tag damn it. We put mental health first because that's what matters most. Without mental health, nothing else will matter. Everything else will suffer. So we like to tune into those free mental health tools that we all have available to us as human beings. One of them is gratitude. Very powerful tool. The more you use it, the more powerful it can become in your life. And today, I want to shout out gratitude to everyone who's been supporting the cause, and specifically to one of my followers who has decided to donate a hotel stay tonight for me. So much gratitude going out to you. You know who you are. I appreciate you. Appreciate that support, and it does feel like karma out here. I'm really glad that we're able to be here for each other, and everyone's able to benefit, supporting one another. Go ahead and think about your piece of gratitude for the day. That'll help put you in that positive mindset as we move forwards in the lesson. Second mental health tool we're going to talk about is progress tracking tool. It's been 846 days of consecutive progress and success for me, the Sackman. Let me know how many days it's been for you. The more you use that tool, again, it's another one that can become more powerful. The more you use it, the more proof you will have of your strength and endurance and what you are capable of. Depression and anxiety are dirty liars, and they love to convince us that we should stay in a victim mentality and that we're not capable of getting up and moving forwards. This number proves those things to be false. It proves those feelings and thoughts to be temporary. It also proves to yourself. It is a source of self-validation that you can use to prove to yourself your strength and your endurance. So please do keep track of that number. It can have a very powerful compounding effect the longer we keep track of it. It also lets me chart other things in my personal progress. I know that it has been 846 days since I've had a single thought of suicidal ideation. And coming through the emergency room, going through a traumatic experience, a tremendous amount of loss, being on medication, going through therapy, all of those things are now a part of my past, and I know I've moved forwards for the last 846 days. So please do keep track of that number. I can't stress that enough. It will continue to benefit you the more you keep track of it. And Mad with Hats, shout out to Mad with Hats for being the first one in. He says, grateful that my kid's here with me because I can actually care for her while she has the COVID. Better here than elsewhere. Oh, I hope she gets well soon. Sorry to hear that she does have COVID. Glad that you're there. You're able to be with her, though. However, and happy holidays. Happy holidays to you too. Appreciate you. All right, so that is our progress tracking tool. That's our gratitude tool. Go ahead and think about your gratitude. Make sure you're keeping track of your progress. If you share that progress with others, you can help inspire them to make progress in their lives as well. And that's one of the coolest parts about this whole social support system we're building for each other. We get to be that change that we want to see in the world. And by improving our lives, we're able to motivate and inspire others to improve theirs. So please do share that number if you've got a number out there. All right, that being said, today's lesson, we're going to get back into shadowboxing. 3 rounds, 3 minutes each. 1 minute breaks in between to catch your breath and drink some water. Shout out to Lisa the Luminary and Wolf Fitness for supporting the cause. Appreciate you out there. So today we're going to get into 3 rounds. Like I said, 3 rounds of shadowboxing. 1 minute breaks in between, 3 minute rounds. And we're going to develop one technical tool, and then we'll incorporate that tool into our creative flow in our shadowboxing session. Remember, aim for that goal. When you're training, aim for that goal to stay creative and to give yourself a challenge, but not push too hard to where you push yourself into more anxiety. Because mental health is our focus when we train in shadowboxing and we train on the bag, we want to aim for the flow zone. We want to find that zone in between too much of a challenge where we wind up with more anxiety, more depression, and too little of a challenge where we fall into boredom. You got to find that zone right in the middle. And that's going to allow you to make progress every single day, never have to take a day off, and continue to enjoy the process and enjoy those steps forward that you are taking. So aim for the flow zone. Give yourself that challenge. Check in on you and make sure you're not pushing too hard. You don't want to avoid those signs of overreaching like nauseousness in the stomach, lightheadedness, spots in the vision, dizziness. All of those things are signs you're pushing too hard. You'll want to dial it back. So the technical tool that we're going to talk about today is the Spinning Backfist. It's one of my favorite ones to whip out there once in a while. Is to catch your opponent by surprise when you're sparring. When you are sparring, if you're using spinning moves or spinning backfist, it's a very powerful move. So slow it down. The goal is never to cause brain damage. The goal is never to knock out your opponent when we're shadow boxing. The goal is to practice our technical abilities. So we want to see if we can get past the guard of our opponent and use that strike, boom, effectively. So we're going to want to slow it down so that our opponent can test their defense as well. And we all get to improve on our skill sets. So we're going to break down that spinning back fist so you guys can practice that at home at the first session. And then we're going to incorporate it. We're going to think about different ways we can implement it in our shadowboxing routine and how it would be effective in theory in a sparring situation or a self-defense situation. So to break it down to begin with, we'll get it all done as we move through our sessions. No boombox today, just the sounds of nature and the sounds of each other, I guess, breathing. Heavy breathing. Make sure you've got water and you're staying hydrated out there. Super important to stay hydrated. That's another one of those things. Without it, everything else is going to suffer. And being up here at altitude in the winter, dehydration is a main concern. So I want to make sure you're staying hydrated. All right, that's enough chatting. We're going to pop into Muay Thai stance. Visualize your opponent. To make this extra effective for mental health, visualize that opponent as the physical embodiment of depression or anxiety, whatever it is you'd like to work on today. Make it the depression dummy that you are striking. That'll help improve your accuracy and also allow you to consciously acknowledge what we're subconsciously doing every single day, which is knocking out those debilitation effects that come from depression and anxiety. So visualize that opponent, square up the hips, square up the shoulders, pop into your Muay Thai stance, and we're going to get this thing going right away. Square up, and we're going to start breaking down this shadowboxing routine together. We're going to start with those basics. Keep the guard high by the brow line. Get yourself in your balanced stance. Step in for the number 1, the jab. Boom, twisting through the shoulders and hips. Rotate through for the number 2. Right there, and from here, we're going to step across and break down how that spinning back fist is going to work. So from our balanced Muay Thai stance, what we want to do is take that lead foot, step it across into a narrow stance, right? And from right here, we're going to rotate on the ball of both feet. We're going to rotate 360 degrees, boom, all the way around, turning at the hips and shoulders as well, and looking back at our target. That is the rotation. Those are the mechanics. Spin back around, get yourself back into a balanced stance. Now in this next spin, we're breaking down that back fist. We're going to step across into a narrow stance. We're using the weight on the ball of the foot. Remember, keep those heels slightly bent and slightly raised. Guard tight, defense, super important. Now we're going to rotate around, and as we rotate around, we're going to extend this fist, hammer fist style. Use the bottom of that fist, extend that fist around, right? Whoosh, all the way around, boom, through the head of our opponent, right through the face of that opponent. You can put some bend in those knees. That's going to help you execute that strike. And make sure, again, that the weight's on the balls of the feet and you're nice and balanced. Head's in the center line. You should be able to stay balanced through this whole thing. If you can't, just go slow and work on maintaining that form and proper balance. Back to stance. Step in. Let's put it together in a combo. Step in for the 1, rotate for the 2, and now step across. Boom. Step across. We're into that narrow stance, and we're going to rotate on our way back, rotating around, turning through the hips and shoulders. Boom, we're extending through for that rear hammer fist. Bang, spinning back fist action. Back to stance, rotate all the way back around. Let that foot come back to balance, and let's put them together. Make it silky smooth. Step in for the 1, the 2, step across, and bang, hit them with that spinning back fist. Remember, bend in the knees, heels off the ground. It's going to help you rotate nice and easy, stay balanced through the whole thing, keeping that head on the center line. Rotate back, keep the guard high, step yourself back into the balanced position, and let's keep it moving. 1, 2, step across, bang, there it is, and rotate back. Get it going nice and smooth. Visualize that opponent, make a contact with the face, and then bang, there it is, and back to stance. Make sure you're keeping balance the whole time. That's going to let you effectively execute those combos wherever you are. And we're going to start to get more flowy with it, more creative with it. Bam, bam, bam. Think about those different strikes that you can throw during shadowboxing, and then just incorporate, bam, incorporate that spinning back fist when you get a chance. Remember, when you rotate, pop, you're going through that target. When you come back, you want to step back across into your balanced stance. Don't stay in that narrow stance. It'll make you an easier target. That's the end of round 1. Catch your breath. Drink some water. Check in on you. Make sure you're doing all right. We're going to pick up in round 2 and continue that spinning back fist practice. Oh, it rhymes. And if you'd like, you can switch into southpaw. And if you're rusty on southpaw, maybe you're perfect. Maybe your balance is perfect and your spinning back fist looks amazing. Bang, from orthodox. Well, one way to continue to improve is to switch it up into southpaw. I know I'm not going to be as fluid here because we don't practice as much, but it's good to practice in a balanced stance. In southpaw position, you're stepping across from the opposite side, trying to maintain that balance, rotating around, boom, oi. Yeah, my balance is off. This is where you find room for improvement. So we'll execute from southpaw stance in the second round as I continue to build body heat in this freezing cold. Very hard to adapt out here. Layers are the key if you're visiting Colorado. All right, here we go. Pop back into stance. Square up with that visualized target. Guard high by the brow line. Chin tucked, right? It's nice and tight. Step in for the 1-2. Pop, pop. Step across for a spinning back fist. Bang. Right there. Boom. Right through the face. Back to stance. And now, let's mix it up. Let's switch into southpaw position. And we're going to fire the same combo from southpaw. Jab, rotate through for the cross. Now step across into a narrow stance, and we're going to twist through, right? Rotating on the ball of the feet, turning through the hips and shoulders, and extending that fist through. Whoosh, right through the face in a nice spinning back fist there. Notice my guard is still tight on the opposite hand, never dropping that guard. We don't want to catch a shot to the face at any time. Always want to maintain defense and offense at the same time. All right, back into orthodox stance. Let's see if we could switch between orthodox and southpaw somewhere in this combo. So step into the 1. When you rotate for the 2, step forwards. Now it's an advancing cross. From here, step across the line. We're now in southpaw stance, and we're going to rotate through using this rear hand. Rotate through and drive that spinning back fist. Bang! Right through the face of that opponent. Back to stance, spin it all the way back around. Step that lead foot back into your balanced stance. We're in southpaw, and let's keep it moving. Get creative, get flowy with it, and let's work on that combo from southpaw stance. Jab, rotate for the cross, and now step across, boom, on the lead foot, and we're rotating through, bang, right through the face, and back to stance, nice and balanced. I need work on that southpaw. I'm going to stay in southpaw. Feel free to get creative and use those strikes that you're comfortable with, that you enjoy, and really make that routine your own. Let's go. Jab, cross, step in, southpaw, and back to stance. Guard high. I'm staying in southpaw the whole time, but you can switch back and forth if you'd like. Step in for the jab, rotate for cross, step across, bang, and back to stance. Oi, I keep going back to orthodox stance. It's that natural for me at this point. Step in for the 1, the 2, step across, bang, and back to stance. Guard high, switching over to southpaw. Remember, make it your own. You could stay in orthodox the whole time, but move around, work that head movement, visualize that opponent, and work on linking those different movements together. What feeds what, right? Rotation will feed, every move will feed another move, making it more powerful and effective. So when we rotate those shoulders for the cross, it's preloading the opposite side. Bang, bang, bang. We could just fire all day from here. Huss, 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 huss. Or step across, mix it up, bang, right through the head, and back to stance. Square it up. Work with those styles. Work on those guard changes. 1, 2, 3. Step across. Boom. And back to stance. Think about that. How can you cover up the footwork? That spinning, rotating back fist needs a step into narrow stance. So how can we cover up and disguise that step so we can seamlessly move through our striking patterns? That's the end of round 2. Catch your breath. Drink some water. Round 3, we're going to put it all together, the southpaw, the orthodox, and just continue to flow through creative shadowboxing routine. And remember, really, this is all about empowering you with tools that you can use to take care of yourself. So really do make it your own. You don't have to follow me visually or audibly. Make sure that you're giving yourself a challenge, whether it's in technicality or intensity. As long as you've got a challenge, that means you can grow out of that comfort zone. And don't take it too easy. Checking in on comments. It's Claire. Claire's here. Hi, it's Noel. Luca's not allowed to watch. I am excited you saw dinosaurs. Thanks so much, Claire. Yes, I did see some dinosaurs the other day. Having a great time out here. And we've got 5 seconds to pop back into our final session. So let's get it going. Work at your pace at home. Remember, you can go nice and slow and turn this into a low intensity exercise. As long as you're giving yourself a challenge, it can be in that complexity. Bam,
complexity of that striking pattern. But when your skill level improves and you become smoother in those strikes, you want to add complexity or add intensity and keep it moving. That way this can always be a creative, nice, fun exercise. Boom, and back. Step forward, step across, rotate through, and back to stance. Now I'm mixing it up. I'm just having fun with it. You can toss kicks in there, maybe step off the kick into a narrow stance, and bang, rotating back fist, back to stance. Work that southpaw, work that orthodox. Keep moving around, rolls, slips in there, right? Parries, jab, cross. Make it your own, have fun with it. Bam, bam, bam. Move around and visualize that opponent. And remind yourself remind yourself of what you are fighting for. Why? What is your why? We are fighting for a better quality of life, a quality of life that we deserve. And the only way we're going to get it is based on what we give. So it's important to give it 100% and continue to challenge yourself. Let's go. Step in, step across, rotate through, and back to stance. Let's keep it moving. Work some knees in there. Step in, ba, ba. Step across, rotate, bang. And back into it. Keep it moving. Inhale through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Stepping in. Work roundhouses in there. And back to stand. Let's. And back. On that roundhouse, on that spinning back fist, remember too, to sink on the knees a little bit so you can pivot nice and easy. Bang. When you're rotating around and extending that fist. Work on those zones that you need help on. Work on those zones that you're a little rusty. If it's southpaw, stay in southpaw. A balanced fighter is a complete fighter. And the more tools we have, the more prepared we can be. Step across. Boom. You can slow it down and speed it up to your pace at any time. Back to stance. Bang, bang. Let's see, can we cover it with a hook? There's the hook. There's the step. Rotate through. Bang. And back to stance. Oi. It's a little tough. Boom, boom. I think we can combine it though. If we, right here out of a cross, step across into the narrow stance, toss the hook from here, even if we miss, I think we can rotate. Boom, all the way around. Yeah. And link those moves. See how those moves kind of just sync up. It's about self-discovery too. You can discover all kinds of new patterns, all types of new combos. The more you practice and the more you start to link those moves together. That is it. That is the end of round 3 for today. I hope that you guys found a way to challenge yourself to continue to grow. That is what it's all about. Consistent progress is consistent success. There's no limit to how much progress you can make out here. So make progress that goal, make the process the goal, and then you can enjoy a daily dose of success every day that you show up for that process. And make sure you're keeping track of those steps because every single step counts. Until next time, I will catch you guys same exact time, same exact channel, same exact life. Sack Man out. Oh, final comments. My aunt Carmen, love you, Carm. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate you. Until next time, Sack Man out.